So this week we're going to work on putting a graphene coating from Atoms on a 4 Series BMW that my neighbor down the street has. This ought to be a fun process to go through. Can't wait to get started. Spray the iron remover all over. Doing a little play detail of the car before we spray it down, getting it ready for the next wash. It's coming along. Okay, we've got a nicely cleaned and ready to polish car. The next step is we're going to put some one-step polish and swirl remover on it. This is a gray car. It really doesn't have any swirl marks that I've seen, so we're just going to make sure we give it a nice good polish and make this paint nice and pretty. So we'll take a couple of videos of that and then we'll get on to the graphene coating. Hey everybody, James here again. Rookie review time. It's been a week since I did my first review on the Chemical Guys Carbon Force coating, and since we had Amazon Prime Day on Monday, I wanted to try out the new Atoms Graphene ceramic coating. And while I was working last week, it was nice that one of my neighbors walked by and said, "What are you doing out here all day?" So I showed him what I was doing, and he just got himself a nice used 2015 4 Series BMW, and I said, "If you want, let's do it. You get some of this coating, we'll put it out here, I'll put it on video and see what we got, see how it works, we'll work through it together." So literally, this is his first time. We've gone through the process of washing it, doing all the right methods. We used our foam, we used our 2-bucket wash, we put the iron stuff on there before we did the foam. We gave it a good wash, we clay barred it, we then sprayed it down with some isopropyl alcohol mix, and we have spent the last 3 hours polishing it with a dual action orbital, same thing I used on my car last week. So no need to show you all that in a video, maybe a couple of clips here or there, but you've seen that from a lot of other people out there. So what we really want to do is talk about this graphene ceramic coating today from Atoms, show you how it goes on there, show you how somebody with very little experience does it, show you some of the problems that we can encounter and how to fix them, and go from there. Do want to show a quick update. This is after we finished the polishing process on the car. This thing, I mean, it was pretty to begin with. It didn't seem to have any real swirl marks to worry about. So we basically used, on this one, I finished off a bottle of the Chemical Guys VSS cleaner. It's the one-stop scratch and swirl remover. We used that alongside of the Chemical Guys diamond pads. I was going to use an Atoms polish, which I did pick up this week during the Amazon Prime Day. I'll be doing that on the next car, but I wanted to finish off this other bottle since they all, I'm guessing, pretty much do the same thing. You can see that the finish is pretty nice. It's shiny, it's very smooth to the touch, and it is ready for the graphene coating. Once we get done with a little lunch break, we'll come back out. So far, the time spent today started around 9:30. It's almost 2 o'clock now. There were 2 of us doing the work, so it went a little faster than yesterday. But for everyone who wants to do this as a hobby, it definitely takes some time, and it's nice to have a garage where you're out of the sun, keep the heat off of things, and have a fan going, have some nice music going, and enjoy a good Saturday afternoon. So a quick review of what we've done so far. We've started out the car. We did a good rinse of the car, then took pretty much an entire bottle of this iron remover. We sprayed it all over the car. We let that sit for a little bit, then we rinsed it off. Then we hit it with some mega foam with our foamer that we have. Then hand washed it with the strip wash. When we were all done with that, we went and used, this is one of the clay bars that we used, but I actually used 2 different kinds because that's what I had. And we used some lubricant that we got. I also used some Meguiar detailer for the other bar that I was using. We then took the VSS scratch and swirl remover to give it a one-stop polish. We used the Torque orbital dual action polisher as well. Got it all over the car, and now we're just taking a little break before we get to the final step of putting the graphene coating on. So just a sneak peek at the next video, since we're trying the graphene coating on this first. Next time, it's the new X7. Bought it last month. I put some short protection on it, but we're gonna clean this thing down, make sure it's in good shape, and get this thing protected like it should be. Can't wait for this one. Next time. Thanks. So we've got the graphene ceramic coating, we've got our micro suede applicator sponge here. We're gonna screw it off. I'm gonna use the method where you kind of tip it here. We're gonna run it right on down the center. Just a nice little bit here. And then we're gonna work little 2x2 circles. Come along. Back around. Back around. Back around. I'll let that cure for about a minute until it starts to rainbow over. And then we're going to wipe it off. Can't really see it's doing much right now. It's hard on a gray car. But you can see if you put the light on there, the black light, you see the difference here in the what's been treated, what hasn't been treated. It's pretty neat. Alright, so it's on. And now we just take a nice clean microfiber towel. Wipe it right off. And we move on to the next 2x2. So we'll just kind of spend the next 30 minutes or so putting the stuff on. And that's it. Here is a quick time-lapse video of us putting the product on, waiting about 3 minutes, then wiping and buffing it off, and going back and checking over our work. So we finished doing the graphene, and one thing you can definitely see is everywhere we've got high spots. With this fluorescent light, it definitely shows up. So we're gonna work, you can see there's one there. You can see that we're gonna try to buff those out. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna spray a little bit of graphene on there and try to wipe it up again. All right, final product. Let's say overall this took us about 6 hours. 2 people working on it. It's got a nice shine to it. It's got some nice protection on it. You happy with it?
Very happy. Looks really good.
All right. If he's happy, I'm happy. So another one down. Got another one to go, and the one we did last week. So I wanted to give a few final words on what I thought of the overall of the Amos graphene product. And I'm going to compare it to the only other thing I know, which is the Chemical Guys Carbon Force, which I did on my car a couple of weeks ago. So the Amos goes on really smooth, used less product for sure. I don't know if that's because I used too much product on the Carbon Force stuff and you couldn't really tell if it went on or didn't go on. The thing that I noticed was it didn't rainbow up like I thought it would rainbow up really visibly on the gray car. Maybe it's just because it's gray, I'm not quite sure. Again, first time I've ever tried it. So overall, I really enjoyed putting on the Amos product a little bit
more because it was easier, I think. And it was also easier because I had somebody here to help me do it. A couple of the problems that we saw when we were doing the car were on the front of the car. We noticed the black light showing a lot more spots right up in front of the hood on the nose of the car. And I don't know if that's because we didn't get that sanded or polished down as much as we should have gotten it done. It's hard to tell. I guess a pro, that's what's the difference between a pro and me doing something for the first time. You really couldn't tell that it wasn't, that there was too much on there, that there were high spots because it's gray. So Amos, who I helped do the car, he was happy with it, and we kind of moved on from there. But there were some other areas. The chrome around the windows seemed to have some spotting on it. The car is a 2015 series, so I'm not sure if that was just age. I don't really know how to take that off. So if anybody has any tips on that, that'd be great. But I am happy that I bought another bottle of that graphene coating, because that's what I'm going to use on my new white BMW. I think it'll be easier to put on than the chemical guys, and time will tell if it looks as good. So in my next video, we're gonna do a wash of my original, my Gray 5 series that has the Carbon Force on it, and then we're gonna get Amos's car back down to do a wash on that, because it's been about 2 weeks since we did that initial application, and we can give it a good wash and just see how it beads up and how things look on that. So look for a couple of videos in the near future. We'll post them up, and if you like what you see, please hit the like button, and I wouldn't mind you subscribing, because I'm gonna try to do this in a few different cars and do some different series and just DIY around the house on how just a normal guy does work when he has a weekend free. Thanks for watching.